Who doesn't like fractional gold? I'm sure there are a few of you out there. We'll find you. Fractional gold. I don't really need to do a big pitch here. I think there are a lot of reasons you might want fractional gold. It might be easier to buy based on the lower price point. Maybe you think it'd be easier to sell. Maybe you just want something to give to future grandkids someday. Now, whatever your reasons, the upside to fractional gold coins is greater divisibility. The downside is higher premiums. This is an area where I just don't think that there's any kind of universal best choice. The larger the coin, the lower the premium. That's a fair assessment. Premium on this 1 ounce eagle is lower than the premium on this 1/4 ounce eagle. So if you could wait to buy the larger coin, then you would save some money. But who wants to wait? I bought fractional coins each month for a lot of years. Is 8 years a lot? Feels like a lot. Doing the math on the years that I was doing that, I found that I was spending an extra $20 per 1/4 ounce coin. That's based on the higher premiums on the smaller coins, and that's an average. Premiums for 1/4 ounce eagles was somewhere in the 9% versus the 4% on 1 ounce eagles. That, of course, changed over time, but you get the idea. Toward the end of that run, though, when I stopped buying them in 2020, I think that spread had pretty much doubled. Premium on 1 ounce eagles had jumped to 6%. Premium on 1/4 ounce eagles had jumped to 14% and higher. They've come down just a little bit again, and I don't know if that's temporary, but I can find a 1 ounce eagle today for 5% pretty easily. I can find 1/4 ounce for 12 to 14%. I'm not going to dwell too much on the cost, though. There's a lot more to the story than that. I just think that it makes sense to get that part out first. Now, when it comes to the selling side, I've never been offered more premium back for a fractional coin, at least not from a local dealer. It's been a while since I've heard anyone say this, but I know some people think that you do get more back on fractional. I just haven't experienced that. If you were to go out and check JM Bullion for the buyback prices, you might find that you'll get some more back, but you'll probably also find that the premium spread is higher on the buy side as well. So if you're buying fractional, you either have to be fine knowing that there's a higher purchase price because you see the benefits in it, or you have to work a little bit harder to sell them to a buyer willing to give you more of that premium back. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I bought 1/4 ounce American Gold Eagles for years, and I knew full well that I was spending more to get the smaller coins. I could have just been patient. I could have gone in every 4th month and then picked up a 1 ounce Eagle instead. But at that time, I had a plan to free up $400 a month. I know $400, these are the old days. It's more like $550 now, but I liked seeing something tangible every month to reward that plan. I also didn't have all of you on YouTube to explain myself to. I had me and my wife. And a $400 expense flew under the radar, both hers and mine. There probably would have been times where something came up that would have prevented me from spending that $1,500. Again, today it's $2,000. But at $400, nothing was stopping me. It was almost like a bill in the pay yourself first sense. So that's a lot about me, and I'm not making this video to cover my history. I'm really just bringing that story up to say that I get why buying fractional makes sense, even if it doesn't. And since I'm hanging out in the past just a little bit, let me lay out what I did for divisibility in my stack to make a point. To me, the 1 ounce American Gold Eagle was the final form, and I swapped most of my quarters for 1 ounce coins along the way. I worked toward tubes, and then I'd stash them away. I always kept 2 to 3 ounces of quarters just to have some flexibility, but I never really worried about what might happen if I needed $400. I wasn't going to sell gold if I needed $400 or $500. I had savings for that. I suppose I had credit cards too. Gold to me was for bigger events. It still is. At smaller levels, I had silver. So I had 10 ounce bars, that hit the $200 price point. I know that's a lot more today. The 1 ounce American Silver Eagles, they were at the $20 price point. What is it today, 40? To me though, that covered every likely use case that I had. You might have a completely different situation, but that was me. I never did dig into that silver. I didn't liquidate any of it until I sold it all in August of 2020 and then I think May of 2021. But for quite a while, I had plenty of it. Now, if you're looking for divisibility, you can buy some silver, you can buy some 1/10 ounce gold, quarter ounce gold, half ounce gold, you can buy gram bars, 1, 5, 10, whatever. But I think that it's most important to line up with your buying behavior. Buy what's comfortable. Personally, I've found that the 1 ounce and the quarter ounce gold coins are really the only sizes and price points that make sense to me over time. That's what I like. If you like the price point of the half ounce, the 10th ounce, I'm sure you have a good reason. Now that 10 ounce silver bar that I had out, that made more sense to me at the time than the 1/10 ounce gold eagles. That was just because the premium is smaller. It still is, I think, but it's probably a lot closer today. I still have a strong preference for gold though, so I would probably lean toward the 10th ounce. It depends a little bit. Silver eagles, they're just not even on my radar at this point, at least not in bulk. The premium has gotten to the point that I really don't even think about them. And the option that I haven't talked about yet is old European gold. And it would be really tough to make a video about fractional gold and then not spend at least a hot minute on something like the 20 francs LMUs. These fall somewhere in between the price points of the Eagles, so they allow a little bit more flexibility. Again, it really comes down to what you want to spend in a month. For me, I think about the 1 ounce gold coin as being about $2,000, half ounce about $1,000, quarter about $500. You get down into the 10th ounce, and that to me is about equal with a 10 ounce silver bar. We're talking about $250. Loose estimates, but that's how I think about them. If I want to spend $500 a month, I'll probably jump to that quarter ounce American Gold Eagle. I might consider slowing it down, buying 1 ounce every 4th month, but we already know what I did for 8 years. Well, a 20 francs rooster is $350, give or take. So somewhere in between there. And if that was an important price point to you, or if you were particularly concerned about premium, maybe you really like the history of gold coins, well, then you might be dialed in on something like these. And there are a lot of old gold options. You can look at pesos, you can look at sovereigns. There are other choices. I'm going to focus on LMUs for a minute. Each of these 3 coins is a standard Latin monetary union 20 francs. They follow the standard that was introduced by Napoleon in 1800, 1803, somewhere in there. These are all alloyed, by the way, 90% pure. Total gold content of each of these coins is 0.1867 troy ounce. And you can find similar coins from France, from Belgium, from Switzerland, I think from Italy, and there are even a few others that came in later. And there is just a certain allure to picking up gold coins that have been around for a few hundred years. Now, that rooster, that's a restrike, but this Napoleon would have been floating around. It would have been in circulation in Europe in the early 1800s, and that's just kind of cool. So you have price point, you have historical interest, and then you have premium. A premium is totally hit or miss on these coins right now. You can find them for 7% or better if you look, but online dealers seem to be selling them higher than that. Again, you'll find deals every now and then, but if you jump out to JM Bullion, APMEX, you'll see that they have gotten relatively expensive. They're still going to be lower, of course, than the fractional gold eagles or whatever it is that your country has as the local favorite. Now, I got a little bit carried away with these coins 8 years or so ago. I was able to get them for maybe 3 to 5% above spot, and I just really enjoyed that old gold idea. But I had a real estate deal come up and I decided to sell off some gold, and these turned out to be very difficult to move more than a few at a time. And that'd be different today when gold is hot. I mean, that's the case with anything. Your mileage may vary, but I think that it's fair to say that something like an American Gold Eagle is just going to be easier to sell. If you aren't concerned about that, though, if you aren't concerned about selling or not concerned about selling more than a few coins at a time, well, it's just not a big deal. For me, it's a little bit hard to let go of that past, and I do know that if I do sell gold, I'll probably sell a lot of it, so these aren't real high on my list, but you might end up loving them. Now, beyond that price point idea, one of the things that I found with fractional is that it's very easy to grab some fun stuff. Just grab it out of curiosity without having to spend the full amount for the 1 ounce coin. I've picked up Perth Mint Lunars over the years like that. I probably would have picked up the Queen's Beast coins like that if I'd thought about it a little bit sooner. I have some pre-33 Indian heads, and I imagine a few of you think like this. Sometimes that variety is fun. It's not something I do often, but I do know a lot of people that stack that way. They stack random quarter ounce, or they try to get a hold of something from each major mint. Maybe they go after those series. It's easy, it's fun, and sometimes you can even catch deals like that. The idea, though, that it's important to have fractional because the price of gold will be too high for buyers someday, or you might need them for some kind of apocalyptic barter unit, well, I guess that's up to you. I don't really think about them that way. As far as a price spike goes, I know from talking to dealers that the local shops deal primarily in 1 ounce gold coins. When gold spikes, it's even more so. So that does not seem logical. It doesn't seem like the higher the price of gold, the more people want the bigger coins, but people don't always make sense. Now, if you want smaller coins because you think that will change, I'm definitely not going to argue with you. It just isn't something that I'm worried about personally. I like fractional because it's convenient, but my primary stacking choice is still the 1 ounce gold coin. The way that I see it is that the most important part of your decision to buy fractional is going to be your buying cadence. If you have $500 open every week and you're buying a quarter ounce coin in that time frame, then you really have to be set on the benefits of having smaller coins to justify the premium that you're burning. You could just buy once a month, you could save a lot of cash. But if you want to spend $500 a month, maybe $250 a month, and you aren't particularly patient, and I'm not judging, fractional might be the most satisfying option. I know it was to me. Let's end it there. Hopefully that gives a quick overview on fractional from somebody who has bought a little bit of everything, somebody who sees the benefits of each choice, even if the math doesn't really support it. Let us know what you think, though. Do you like fractional? Do you buy fractional? And then why? If any of this was interesting, be sure to punch that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're into the topic of gold. And if you're still here, thank you again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.